What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Twigger, and I've got another League of Legends high ELO commentary for you, featuring there's actually two people in here. There's Meteos and Sneaky. They were both members of Cloud9. Sneaky is still, in fact, the AD carry for Cloud9, but Meteos has since parted ways. He still works for the Cloud9 organization, but he's no longer a professional player. Normally, he does play in the jungle, but we're going to be seeing him on Lissandra up in the top lane, which is going to be really cool, just to see how he does in the top lane, especially on kind of like a much more different champion than Lissandra, who really had no jungle potential whatsoever. Seeing him on that kind of a champion is going to be very, very cool, up against a very standard champion in the top lane, Gnar. But, I think our commentary is going to be more focused on C9 Sneaky playing Sivir and Meteos playing on that Lissandra. Try to see how they play those champions to the best of their ability, what they do differently, so that way maybe we can learn a thing or two about how they play these champions and what we are clearly doing wrong as lower ELO players. Because that's what this entire thing is supposed to be about. Them making great plays, us learning a thing or two. So the teams that are going up here, just kind of going down the lane. So up in the top, we already discussed it. It's Gnar and Lissandra. Definitely, it's a more of a standard kind of lane, I would say. Lissandra's not played nearly as frequently anymore, but the Gnar is definitely a very standard pick nowadays, so very, very strong champion. In the jungle, we've got Nidalee for the blue team and Lee Sin for the red team. Once again, fairly standard stuff. Nidalee not played nearly as much anymore, but still a very strong jungler. In the mid lane, Kassadin versus Lulu, remarkably standard lane. And in the bot lane, we've got Annie bot, which is also, once again, guys, prevalent streamer, very, very high tier Annie player. And also Caitlyn versus Sneaky, Sivir, and Nami in the bot lane. So going to be a very, very interesting game to see how everybody plays. It looks like, just kind of noting at the beginning here, that Sneaky and Nami want to go in here to try to stop their Krug start, which is very, very important. It's going to be very... Oh, the double bubble landing! Huge damage coming out of Sneaky's Boomerang Blade as well. They're going to have to pop something to get away from this one. The heal being popped. Sneaky does still have his flash and his heal to try to close this distance, but looks like nothing's going to happen there. I believe, though, that the... Oh, man, flash coming out of the Nidalee. Exhaust being used. The flash was used from Sneaky as well to try to get away from this Nidalee. But the red buff slow is currently on the Nami. Not entirely sure if this is going to end up being a kill, but the slows are real on this one. Antibot getting not a stun, but just getting some damage off. A great heal plus the stun coming from the Nami, but once again, more flashes being burnt. This is going to be a dead Nami. First blood going to the Annie, but is Sneaky going to be able to pick something up? No! Meteos comes in here to try to do some stuff. This is the most amount of action I've seen in the first couple minutes of a game. Sneaky getting the kill onto the Caitlyn, and Meteos picking up the kill onto the Nidalee in under 3 minutes. We have a 3-1 game. All this action going down in the bot lane. Oh my god, I can barely speak now. And while all that was going on, Lee Sin did his red buff and then came over here and counter juggled Nidalee's blue buff because he knew that she was going to be bot lane, and then she was going to, well, she died, so he had all the time in the world. But my lordy, so kind of going through that, Sneaky sitting at 1-0 and 2, Nami at 0-1 and 1, and Meteos at 2-0 and 1, and opting for what I probably wouldn't recommend. And once again, like, this is just my own personal opinion, because he's a much, much higher tier than I am, is that I would think that when you have that much money, you would try to finish off an item quicker. Like, you would go for something like your, what would I go for? Something like a Chalice or something like a Fiendish Codex or something like that, because you know it's going to build into a much stronger item. But I feel like you go for Doran's Rings and Doran's Blades when you're a little bit behind, and you just want to try to, like, make up for the fact that you're a little bit behind and just give yourself some battle stats. But up to Meteos, he has chosen to go that route. So I'll be curious to see what he builds into next. But here's the flash coming out of the Lulu to try to... Oh! Not going to be enough, though. One more tick might have done it, but sadly, so the flash coming out of the Lulu to try to pick up the Kassadin, not enough to pick him up. So Kassadin's pretty happy with that. Flash being used and the Ignite being used, so he's going to have a much easier time in that mid lane with his flash up and his teleport up as well. And no real kill pressure coming out from that Lulu anymore. So... looking at this lane, especially in the bot, we're just kind of back to the standard farm game. There's not really a whole lot going on. You just basically farm up and hope that you get as much CS as humanly possible. Currently 18 to 16, fairly even in this lane, but Sneaky has a bunch more gold than this Caitlyn does. Sneaky went and got a pickaxe with Caitlyn just didn't get anything at all. She just had no money in order to do anything. So it's really just kind of an ideal situation for Sneaky. Getting a little bit of mana back. Great reaction time on that Piltover Peacemaker stop, I guess we can call that. Counter? Spell? Shield? Yeah, we'll go with that. While up in the top lane, Meteos, 24-20, very even still in this top lane. Lysandra, I find, especially in the early portions of the game, is very, very mana hungry. She does have her passive, which gives her a free spell, which is, it's a good thing, but it's not normally enough. Normally you do use a lot of mana. So this Gnar is going very, very aggressive because he is in fact going to turn Mega Gnar, but it looks like there was a kill down in the bot lane, that Caitlyn going down, so definitely want to see how this one played out. The Lee Sin coming in from the river. It looks like they just don't have this warded enough. Ward is way too far forward there. So landed the Q, getting the slowdown, and it looks like, oh man, even through all of Sivir and Lee's damage, the Nami picks up that kill. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world for the Sivir to pick, sorry, the Nami to pick that up, because she didn't have a kill previously, so that's going to get her to an item like her, the Sightstone much, much quicker, so there's going to be a lot of utility coming out of that Nami with that extra little bit of gold, so not the worst case scenario. But back up in the top lane, it's just still, it's every single lane right now is just a farm-tastic lane. Looks like the Nami's trying to bait this Kassadin in a little bit, because right now the Lee Sin is fairly close, but it looks like we've got the Nidalee down here, going to turn off that directed camera. And the spear not landing. Lee Sin's going to have to try to get in here very, very quickly. Not going to land the Q, though. Oh, and now Lee Sin has put himself in a horrible position. Has to burn the flash. Is going to try to get away from this one. Is the spear going to land? Nope, they are not even going to throw it. So that was just kind of unfortunate timing, really. Oh, the Kassadin going in. Not enough to kill him. Is the turret? No, the turret's not going to do enough damage. Man, that was an aggressive play. Flash being used from the Kassadin. So it's going to be back to Lulu having the advantage in this lane. When she... Oh, my sneaky. Holy crap, that was some damage. So... The one thing you do... Oh, and here goes Meteos going in onto the Gnar. Gnar does not yet have his Mega Gnar up, so Meteos is also, though, a little bit close to being... Oh! It's gonna be enough! Gnar even had his flash! That surprises me. You should never die to a long-range auto attack if you have your flash available. Sivir popping his ultimate, trying to get in onto this this Nidalee, but sadly got hit with the 90 caliber net. I guess just did not... He just did not time that thing correctly. I think it was just, he put it on, it ran out, and then they 90 caliber netted Sivir, so there was just no getting away from that. A great stun coming out of Anibot, but also a good stun coming out of the Annie. Oh, sorry, great stun coming out of the Nami. So Sivir's gonna have to try to run away from this one. Lulu is coming down, but doesn't look like she's actually gonna try to do anything. But here comes Meteos. We remember the last time that he came down. And not gonna go for the Caitlyn, gonna try to instead try to save Sneaky. But Anibot isn't gonna... Oh, this is gonna be a world of hurt, I think. So there's the lockdown. Meteos does not have his ultimate, so this is just all gonna be him making sure that he lands his skill shots. So here we go, one more, there it's gonna be. Is the lockdown gonna happen? No, he's going to miss the W. But he's gonna come back in here, and there's gonna be the double kill. Great little dive there, but it looks like he is probably gonna die to this Kassadin because once again, the ultimate is not yet up. Shutdown going onto the Kassadin. Meteos sitting at 5-1-1. That is not too shabby, especially when you go for that triple Doran's Blade build, but did now go for that Fiendish Codex, so the cooldown reduction is definitely helping him out. And it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, what he's going to go for next. Kassadin getting locked up a bit there by the Nami bubble, but sadly the spell shield having to be used on that Nidalee spear, making sure that Sivir can't get jumped to. But it looks like there's the exhaust going on to the Nidalee, so they are actually worried about the damage that's going to come out from the Annie coming in. Nice juke onto the spear, but the stun going down from the Annie. Kassadin is going to come in on this one, but it looks like Sivir's going to turn and try to do some damage just to get them away from this. And Nami is going to survive, but having to pop her flash and also the exhaust to make sure she survives. But now the Kassadin in a little bit of a scenario. He does not have a lot of mana, so maybe one Rift Walk and a spell. But I really doubt that he would go in on this unless they got a pretty solid amount of poke down onto the Sivir prior to going in. But looks like Kassadin's just going to go B. The lucky thing about him constantly doing this little B dance is that they're at least wasting his time. But there you go. He is now B. Q landing onto Sneaky. Right now 60 to 38 is the farm difference. 2-0-3 to 0-3-2 in favor of Sneaky. That is a substantial difference. A very substantial difference. So, just kind of looking around the map, the red team does have a solid amount of pink wards going on right now, mostly towards the top side. It doesn't look like they're looking to clear them out anytime soon, really. Not really many pink wards have been purchased on the blue team side. Only one currently from the Gnar. But other than that, looking down the CS scores, 60-49 in favor of Meteos, 38-29 in favor of Lee Sin. He's also got that 1 assist, but Nidalee does have 2 assists. In the mid lane, 65-52 in favor of the Kassadin, who is also up 2-0. We already talked about the CS difference in the bot lane, but it's actually a pretty big deal to say that Kassadin is currently winning in terms of CS against the Lulu, because Kassadin, not very easy to win lanes as Kassadin pre-6, especially against something like a lane bully like Lulu. But he's had some pretty good roams, and Lulu hasn't really roamed that much, so looks like Meteos might be in a little bit of trouble here. Gonna have to just kind of slow them down, try to get out of this one. The ultimate coming out, a great amount of damage on this Nidalee is going to be no, it's not going to be enough. The flash comes out. He is going to get stunned by the Gnar ultimate, and this is going to be one dead Meteos. Sadly, just not enough to pick up the Nidalee, having a great flash and getting out of range of that Meteos Q. Very, very nicely played. So Meteos going back to base to lick his wounds and pick up a Morellonomicon. But these two top laners, 5-2-1, and Gnar is now 3-1-0. Fairly even in CS as well. So they are going to be very, very close when it comes to this midpoint of the game. But it looks like the bot lane is going to go down. First turret of the game going in favor of Sneaky in his lane. It's been quite a bully lane in the bot. Now that they've just gotten, like, they've solidified a lead and they are just abusing it. Going in on Annie and Caitlyn every single chance that they get. And it looks like they're now going to start taking some jungle farm as well. Very, very smart. Try to get every single advantage you possibly can. Caitlyn is... He is going to try to get in there, but not going to be able to get it. And now they're going to turn, but sadly the Boomerang Blade misses. But the Annie going to get a great tippers off onto Sneaky, and this is going to be one dead Sneaky. Sivir is now down with a great roam from the Kassadin, and also the Nidalee coming down at that exact moment. Make sure that they can get 2 kills, shutting that bottom lane down from their split push game. And that's just... probably shouldn't happen. I think Sneaky was getting a little bit greedy there. Once they had got the Krugs, they should have just left, but they tried to turn it on to the Caitlyn. But Caitlyn was only really being that aggressive because she knew she had the Kassadin coming down. The Annie stun was available, but oh, Lee Sin. Oh, that was already... So yeah, I guess we didn't need to watch that. That was just a... Let's just watch it because it's fun. How about that? So we ready for this? He basically just uses the kick to make Caitlyn useless. Here we go. Ready? And it's just going to be kick, Q, probably. So, kick, Q! Oh, it's easy. It's lovely. It's great to see. But yeah, the reason that some Lee Sins go for that kick first is because if you kick them into a wall, you know that they're going to that path, right? It's inevitable the way that they're going to go. So it looks like the Gnar's in a lot of trouble here. Is going to go down, but sadly, it looks like the Lulu's going to go down as well. And the slow landing onto Meteos as well. That's going to be a kill for Annie bot. Man, that was just... Once again, perfect timing for people to show up. Like, Annie bot making her way up there, and then the Kassadin also phenomenal at roaming. That's kind of what Kassadin does, is making some really, really good use of his time by roaming to these other lanes. But looks like the first dragon is going to be going in favor of the red team. Right now, 11-10 in terms of kills. 1 turret in favor of the red team, but we can already see, like, not landing. So it looks like we're going to try to turn this around onto the Nidalee. Right now, the 2 teleports are coming in. The Kassadin is right here, though. This is probably going to be a dead Nami. No, not quite enough, but no, it is going to be a dead Nami. Going down to the Gnar. Now it looks like Meteos is going to try his hand at this Kassadin, but it looks like they've kind of got a weird, awkward teamfight going on here. Sneaky is going to die to the Gnar. That's going to be his 5th kill of the game, but Kassadin going down, but Nidalee jumping back in. 2 great flashes, but it's not going to be enough. Nidalee going to pick up that kill onto the Lee Sin, and it looks like Annie's going to manage to pick up Meteos in the midst of all that. Now it's just the Lulu who's come back, and basically it was just a bloodbath, that fight. But now we're seeing that the blue team is now in the lead in terms of kills and also in terms of gold. 23.1k to 22.7k, that one team fight just brought them into the lead. It was just a very, like, scattered team fight, and they didn't even have Caitlyn. So Caitlyn's just been split pushing, almost going to get this turret down. Probably not going to get the turret down, but a huge amount of damage. So if that happens one more time, that will be a turret, and that's going to give the blue team even more gold to work with. So you gotta watch out for those things, especially if the other team can, like, fight you 5v4 and you'll still win. But another thing you have to worry about is that the Kassadin finish off his Rod of Ages, and it's already been stacking for what? Actually, a decent amount of time, 3 minutes or something like that. So he is going to get scary. But it looks like we've got a gank going down here. Kassadin taking a lot of damage. Amazing amount of stuns going on to this Kassadin. Is it going to be enough? 1 Q. No, it doesn't even need it. Kassadin going down to the Lulu. so many like stuns and knockups, just pure displacement onto that Kassadin made it so he could not rift walk away, and they ended up picking up that kill. Probably going to pick up a turret as well. Nidalee getting a spear onto Sneaky and doing a shit ton of damage, but here comes the knockups and also the exhaust. Is it going to be enough? It will be enough. Sneaky going to pick up that kill, but wow, the Nidalee doing an insane amount of damage onto Sneaky. So I've got to be very aware that Nidalee with her Runeglaive, I think she went for the Runeglaive. Yeah, it is Runeglaive. I always find that Runeglaive and like the Cinderhulk, when you're looking at you just like glance down, they both kind of just look like greeny, bluey. I think they should have made the Cinderhulk like a vibrant, punch you in the face blue. Sorry, green. That like it has to be like 100% like lime green, like lime zest for all you cooks out there. But looking at like where the kills kind of lie here, it's a very kind of top dominating game when you have a 5-2 and 3 Gnar, a 6-4 and 3 Meteos on Lissandra. Like there's a scary amount of damage coming out of these top laners, so their TPs are going to be so crucial in how you use them and who has the TP advantage, because these are basically your carries right now coming into the fight. So whoever has that TP advantage, it's going to be a big thing when they use their TPs. But it looks like Antibot's setting up for a kill here. A great amount of stuns going down onto Meteos. My God! Holy shit-a-moly! So that was the Gnar ultimate, the Gnar stun, the Annie ultimate, which stunned Meteos as well. No getting out of that one. And it looks like Nidalee in a bad spot here against this Lulu. Lulu using her ultimate to keep her alive, but this is probably going to be a dead Kassadin. Lee Sin waiting a long time. Guys, I have to say, that was a great way for Lee Sin to play that. He got his Q onto the Kassadin, and he did not go in. Just waited and waited and waited. And the whole point of that was, if Kassadin tried to rift walk over the wall, Lee Sin was going to follow him very, very easily. But it looks like they're trying to get some more damage onto that Caitlyn. But that was just a great Lee Sin play, but didn't even need it. He ended up getting the kickoff onto the Kassadin, which stopped him from using his rift walk as well. But it looks like he is going to try to dive Antibot. That is going to be a kill. A lot of turret shots, but oh, the Caitlyn now getting killed by Meteos, who I don't even know how he made it down there, but the Gnar's going to pick up a kill onto the Lee Sin. Gnar's going to try to do he's doing a lot of damage to Meteos. Kassadin is now here as well. This is probably going to be another team fight. The Sivir ultimate being used to try to get people away from this, but Gnar is going to be turning Mega Gnar very, very shortly. He doesn't have his ultimate though, but now Sneaky is split up from his team. Going to try to turn this down onto the Nidalee, but it looks like the Kassadin's going to have something to say about that, and that is going to be a kill for Kassadin onto Sivir. And that was just the Sivir split up from the rest of his team, and it was just, there's not really any going back from that when you have a Nidalee and a Kassadin, probably two of the best chasing champions in the game. You're not really going to escape that one, sadly. You are going to die. But with all that being said, it's once again been an entire shift in terms of kills and in gold. 19 to 17, 31.3k to 29.5k in favor of the red team. It's been a bloodbath of a game. Like, these guys really, really want to fight one another, which I'm not complaining about. Gives me a shit ton to talk about. The problem is it makes my throat hurt because it's just so much talking to try to describe all of this action. But Lulu's got the blue buff. I don't believe that Kassadin currently has a blue buff. Yeah, wonder what happened there. I guess Lulu probably took it from the Kassadin. So it looks like Meteos might be in a bit of trouble here. Is just going to use that E to get away from that one. But the turret in the top lane is very close to being dead. So we have to watch out for that, because that's going to be an extra little chunk of change for that red team. Because right now I don't think the blue team has any turrets down. They don't. So this top lane turret is probably going to be their first turret, which I'm assuming that Gnar is just going to stay up there and push it down. So, I wish I could talk more about the Sivir, but really, like, Sneaky's just been going down and split pushing this entire time. Like, I think Meteos is right now more interesting to watch. But it looks like, so there we go. First turret of the game for the blue team. There we go. So, evens up that gold a little bit, just 1.1k away. So it looks like we have a big gank coming in onto this Lulu. There's going to be the Sun, the ultimate coming out of Lulu as well. Ultimate from the Annie coming down as well, and that's going to be a shutdown bonus going to the Kassadin, and pretty much the last person that you want that shutdown going to. Lee Sin now going to do some damage to this Nidalee though, and there's going to be one dead fucking kitty. And oh, a great flash coming out of Meteos, not even having to use the ultimate. So the flash coming out of the Gnar to try to lock Meteos down onto the turret, but a great flash coming out of Meteos to get away from that Gnar. And so both flashes burned, no kills gained, but Gnar is going to get a lot of damage onto this turret. He does have the Black Cleaver, so going for a little bit more of an aggressive build, so is not a slouch at taking down turrets. Don't get me wrong, he's not as fast as like the Caitlyn or the Sivir would be, but still does a lot of damage to the turret. But it looks like this is going to be the second dragon of the game going in favor of the red team, so You have to be a little bit concerned if you're the blue team. Like, you can let one dragon slide, you can also let two dragon slides, but this next dragon, once you get to the 3 dragon mark, you've got to start being worried. You got to start setting these things up, and you got to start being prepared to fight for the dragon, because it just makes that risk of the 5 dragon mark a little bit too real. And once you get 5 dragons, if you're a good team, it's very, very difficult to lose. So, looks like everybody's kind of grouping up for this red buff. There's the Nidalee. Not gonna land the bubble, though. Nidalee's in a lot of trouble. The kick goes over the wall, though, so the flash has to be used. So, not the worst case scenario. He just had to flash to pick up that kill, so it still works. The Sivir ultimate going off, though. They're gonna try to kill this Caitlyn. But, wow, the Lee Sin missed, but no. The Q is gonna land from Sneaky. And a great bubble landing onto the Annie as well. The knockup's gonna happen. They are gonna go in on this one. This is not gonna be a dead Annie, but Lee Sin going down. The burn, though, from the red buff is not gonna be enough to kill Annie. A huge team fight going down here, but it looks like the Gnar is gonna die to the Sivir. Annie also picked up a kill on the Lee Sin, I believe, probably from a burn or something along those lines. Maybe the Ignite. But wow, that was 4 for 1 in favor of the red team, and they didn't even have Meteos during that fight. Meteos was up top split pushing, so that was a 4v5, and they still ended up winning it that hard just because of a couple really, really clutch picks in the jungle. Just picking them off one by one. They get a turret as well. Meteos, I think, also got some damage out onto this top 2nd tier turret. The blue buff is also available, so they're probably going to pick that one up for Meteos. That was just a massive, massive error on the blue team's part. They just, I guess, just did not have enough wards to keep themselves protected. So, Meteos is still trying to pick this one up. Not the easiest thing in the world. But there we go. He did manage to get the blue buff. And it looks like there are a lot of pings going on that Baron. But no team is really thinking about doing it quite yet. It would still be very risky. It's only 21 minutes into the game, folks. 21 minutes! You don't really think about doing the Baron unless you get a really good team fight after. Sorry, before. Oh, boy. So, Caitlyn's having a shit game. I think that's... I'm trying to put it lightly. But when you're 0-6-5, and you're 159 CS to your counterpart's 187, it's just not good. And I can't even say that it was like Annie taking all the kills or anything like that, because really... Oh my goodness, that was a lot of damage. But the ultimate coming out from the Lulu is going to be enough to keep him alive. Gnar is here, though, so the Meteos is going to be teleporting from the top lane. This could be a huge play coming from Meteos. A great little collapse here. But so much damage is currently going down. Sivir's already dead. Meteos is on the other side killing that Caitlyn. It looks like the Nami's going to go down as well. And now it looks like Gnar's setting his sights onto the Lulu, doing a lot of damage. But currently we got 3 against 1 right now. Antibot's already fleeing the scene. It looks like this is probably just going to be the end of the team fight. Lee Sin does still have his ultimate available, so does have that execute damage. But, oh, Meteos might be in a world of hurt here. Nope, just going to get away with that Dark Passage. But it's not Dark Passage, is it? It's like Ice... The fuck's it called? Come on, let's figure it out. Glacial Path. There we go. There we go. So it looks like Lee Sin picking up that Annie as well. And it looks like the Gnar is here, but oh, great little jump to avoid that Lee Sin Q. Might have been a dead Gnar if he had landed that, but just being able to use that Lee Sin ultimate, get him away, make sure that nothing else gets picked up here. So this is the first, like, real gold swing that we've seen after those few picks. Oh, man, look at this Lee Sin. What a hero. He's probably going to die, though. Because I don't think he does not have flash, so he is gonna die. There's a nice little juke on the spear, I'll say, but yeah, maybe overstayed his welcome a little bit. But this is the first real, like, big gold swing that we've seen this game. 28 to 22, 46.4k to 41.3k. Now it's 42k. But it is quite a substantial difference now in favor of this red team. Wonder if they're going to be able to hold on to it, but getting some of these turrets is going to be very, very helpful. The Lulu ultimate coming out after the Caitlyn ultimate hit him. Casting and trying to get away from this one. If that Nidalee Spirit hit that Lulu, that might have been a dead Lulu. But, man, look at this ward placement for the blue team. They are really trying to get some vision. But here we go. The flag's coming out. The Gnar is going to TP in. So, is actually going to complete that TP. Nami is going to get hit. It looks like this is going to be a dead support. Antibot jumping in here, getting the Lulu, making sure that he does that flash tippers. But Meteos is doing a lot of damage with his ultimate on himself to make sure he doesn't die, but does end up getting shut down by the Gnar. Great ultimate coming from the Gnar, landing on both Nami and Sivir. Caitlyn picking up her first kill of the game. Congratulations. It's nice to finally have you as part of this game, you useless shit. But man, great team fight coming out of the blue team. Getting the picks that they needed onto the Nami and then getting some great ultimates down. Very, very well played. Lee Sin is the only one alive now. It does have his ultimate available, but I just don't know if it's they closed that gap so quickly that they're now just still a few thousand gold away. But it's fights like that that get you back into this game, that make it much more viable for you to come back and win. So why do I feel like I'm in for a very long commentary? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm going to be sitting here for another like 30 minutes until my throat is basically raw. But I need to bring the action. I'm actually impressed at like how much killing these guys are doing this game. Oh, the Q landed. Is he ballsy enough? No, he is not. Very smart move. Good restraint. He did not go for the Lee syndrome. He allowed for himself to understand that that might be a bad idea. Oh, man. So Nami's already at half HP. This is not a position you want to be in right before a possible team fight. But Dragon is up now. Sivir. Oh my god, that Caitlyn. She has no items. That's at half of her health. I guess that's what happens when you don't have any armor, but jeez. So trying to set this Dragon up, which I like that now the blue team is finally starting to fight for this. You can see how many wards they just have like all over this thing. They also have the Scuttle Crab as well. But Annie taking so much damage. There's going to be the execute coming from the Lee Sin kick. And it looks like they are going to try to go for this fight. The Kassadin is going to be locked down for a long time, but the Zhonya's coming out. He will probably get away from this one. No, he will not. While all this is being said and done, a lot of damage coming out of the Caitlyn and the Gnar onto the Nami. No one has died for the red team yet, but can Lee Sin land this Q? Will he land it? Not even going to go for it. Just going to wait for the Caitlyn to walk into them. If that Nidalee Spear had landed onto the Nami, that might have been a bad thing, but it looks like Sneaky's going to try to chase down this Nidalee. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this one, buddy, but a great crit coming out, and also a great spell shield, making sure that that Spear did not hit, and that is going to be almost an ace. No, the Gnar didn't die, so Annie had died, so it was a 4 for nothing in favor of this red team. And as I was saying before, they now get another dragon. They're at the 3 dragon mark, which just makes like the 5 dragon is just, it's so close, right? It's 12 minutes away from possibly having 5 dragons just winning the game outright. So that's a scary prospect. It becomes so much more of a possibility. But it looks like Kassadin might meet this Lee Sin. He doesn't have everything into this brush, so they know. But it doesn't seem to matter because he does have smite, so is just gonna get that red buff and then get the hell out of there. But they're just getting like all these advantages, just like small bit after small bit, and now they are just so far ahead, right? They're almost 6,000 gold in the lead. No, 5,000 gold, yeah. I gotta learn math. You know, I have an arts degree, right? I was a philosophy major. Leave me alone, okay? The maths don't happen with me. But I'm still, like, you gotta look at this team, though, and you have to still think that they're not too far behind, right? The blue team is not horribly far behind. And they have a Kassadin who's 9, 7, and 8, and they have a Gnar that's 8, 3, and 8. Like, these are guys that you can't underestimate, that if you get in the wrong type of, oh, but here we go. And, like, things like that. So the flash coming out of Annie, the stun coming out, and just wiping Meteos off the face of the rift. And it's just as easy as that. Meteos doesn't have any tankiness. He went for full damage, and if he can't get his ultimate off because he's stunned, he's going to die. So it's things like that that just bring you back into this game. And right now it looks like we might have another team fight. The Lee Sin going in onto Anibot. He does have his ultimate available, so it doesn't even need it. It's just going to get the kill. Kassadin haven't used his Zhonya's, but the Gnar actually missed, just knocked people into the open area. So that's going to be a dead Gnar. Sneaky picking up that kill. Kassadin getting out of this one with his Zhonya's, but it looks like that is going to be a kill onto the Caitlyn as well. But it looks like they are just wiping this team fight. And the Q not landing. Great dodges coming out of this Nidalee, but there we go. Looks like the Lulu is just going to flash over. That's going to be an easy kill. This could very well be a Baron for this red team. Kassadin looking to get an execute, though. A huge amount of damage, and that's going to be a dead Lulu, but it does not matter. Ends up picking up the Kassadin as well, and they are going to go for it. Meteos is going to TP in here. They do still have Sneaky alive and the jungler, so this should be a free Baron because they have no one available to stop this. It's only Annie who's up, and she's currently running from the base, and even if she was there, you wouldn't be overly worried about it. So there you go, guys. Baron secured by this red team, and they have about a 7,000 gold lead. It's just these team fights have been so in their favor, and it surprises me because, like, even though they got that pick off onto Meteos, it was a 4v5, but Annie went a little bit too far forward, got caught out by the Lee Sin. Kassadin was too aggressive up here with Sneaky, and Nami got bubbled and then had to use his Zhonya's to try to escape. Caitlyn didn't make it over the Baron pit. Like, it's just a bunch of mistakes that happened that ended up them just losing the team fight horribly and now losing a Baron. But Meteos going down, a lot of minions are hitting this Gnar, but he's going to turn into Mega Gnar and he's going to be alive. But Meteos once again going down, getting picked a little bit. But, oh, the Nami dodging that spear. But for the blue team, that's a good thing because now you have one person who doesn't have the Baron buff. And a pretty pivotal member who doesn't have Baron buff, 10, 8, and 5. But once again, though, a pick coming up here. Kassadin trying to get that Nami, but the ultimate coming down from the Sivir. A great flash coming out of the Nami, but Nami's probably going to die. No, not going to die yet, but is going to finally get picked up by the Kassadin. But there's a double kill for the Sivir. Sneaky playing this great. And it's just, they spent so much time trying to kill that Nami that they forgot about the damage dealer, Sneaky, who just gets to sit there and absolutely pummel the shit out of your entire team. It doesn't make any sense. So as you guys can see with Sneaky's build right now, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Static Shiv, Last Whisperer, and Boots. Like, this guy is full on aggro. If you don't kill him ASAP, he is going to wreck your team and you are going to have a bad time. It's just, you've got to kill Sneaky if you want to win this game. It can also kind of go the same for Meteos in that you see how fast Meteos dies. It's because he has... Oh my god! That was a crit. So there's the Lulu ultimate, but it's not even going to be enough. My god, the Lulu ultimate goes on and they cannot kill Sneaky. He kills the Nidalee. These three are having a great time right now. Look at the crits! My god! Kassadin has to use his Zhonya's. These crits have been unbelievable, but Sneaky is finally going to go down. 500 gold going to the Kassadin. And a team fight is now ensuing. A great Gnar is going to hit the Lulu, stunning her up. And that's going to be a kill for the Caitlyn. 2, 9, and 12. Finally getting some kills. Well, the second kill of the game. It's basically support Caitlyn and a little bit more of a carry Annie. Because Annie's 7, 8, and 13. I can't believe you have so many assists on a Kate. But there is Meteos. So much damage going down, but it's not enough to pick up either of them yet. Meteos is now in a really bad position. Is gonna get taken down, just not enough damage. I'm very, very surprised that he would use his ultimate on himself. I understand why, but it looks like this is gonna be a cleaned up Nami. There you go. I understand why he did it, because by using the ultimate on himself, it does damage to both Annie and the Caitlyn. Where if he used it just on one, he probably would have just burst them down and there wouldn't have been that AoE damage. But still, by him doing that, he didn't get a single kill, when at least he could have gotten one. So it looks like we're now having the 1v1 that we were looking for, the Kassadin versus the Lee Sin. I don't know how that Q didn't hit. Wow. But, yeah, it looks like Lee Sin's going to back off of this one because, you know, fact of the matter is they have a Nidalee now. And, oh, the damage coming out of the Kassadin is going to dodge the Rift Walk. He doesn't really have enough HP to deal with this. Oh, but it will end up working out. The crits! Go, Sneaky, go! You beautiful bastard. But here's 3 members of the enemy team. Sneaky is going to go down, and here comes the TP from Meteos. Is going to try to get something done here. A lot of damage coming out of Meteos, but missing his last Q. But here's the damage coming down from the ultimate, and it looks like the Gnar ultimate going to land a huge AoE combo coming out of the Gnar. But it is not enough. Double kill for Meteos. Cleaning that one up, doing a really, really good job on that one. But now it looks like Kate might be in a bad position. Anibot is incredibly low, but you've got 2 inhibitors down. You've got super minions who are going to be pouring into this base very, very shortly. You do have a minion wave with a super minion coming into the base right now. They might very well try to get in onto this Nexus. But you do have the Kate, you do have the Annie. Annie does not have her flash available, so that definitely helps the red team. Oh, but that Kassadin damage, you can never underestimate the cast damage. Oh, the ultimate coming down. No. Oh, wow! Look at that. The amount of ground that you can cover. Oh my god, the Kassadin damage. Woo! Baby, calm down, man. We'll give you some lunch money. But it looks like the insect coming out of Lee Sin isn't going to amount to anything. What are you thinking? You're going to insect the Annie to what? Your support Nami? Okay, so here comes Sivir. Here's the actual damage source. A huge amount of crits. That's going to be a dead Kassadin. Sneaky is getting locked up, though, and that's going to be a dead ADC. Sneaky going down, Nami going down, and that's just some bad play, guys. What are you guys thinking? They're getting overzealous. So it looks like the blue team is going to manage to pick up their first dragon of the game, preventing the 5 dragons from happening for a little bit longer. But while that was going down, the minions took down the second tier turret, giving the red team even more gold. But that was just... There was so much aggression out of the Lee Sin. Like, why do you insect the Annie when all you're insecting her to is your support Nami? Like, there's not much your Nami can do. So, I don't really like that play. And then, to be honest, I don't really like Sneaky going so aggressive when he knew that there were, like, 4 people there. It's just kind of asking for death. And the thing is, when you're dead, you can't put pressure on things. And they couldn't pressure that dragon, which, to be honest, if they had waited for them to start the dragon, they might have been able to throw out some Qs, throw out some auto attacks, get some crits, and maybe try to get them off the dragon so you can secure your 4th. But sadly, just didn't happen that way. The red team got really aggro really quickly. But all in all, things are still going well for this red team. There's not really a lot to worry about. 47 to 42, 72.5k to 68.2k. They've got 2 inhibitors down, so the pressure is off of them until this next Baron comes up, really, which is up in 45 seconds. So I'm assuming we're going to see the blue team and the red team placing a lot of wards around the entrances to Baron and the Baron pit itself. Just because that's the next objective. That's what these guys are going for. But it's basically a ticking time bomb for the blue team. Their inhibitors are now coming up, so they have a little bit more leniency. But here goes Sneaky trying to kill the Caitlyn. Does a bunch of damage to her, and the Caitlyn is going to go down. But Sneaky, having used his Quicksilver Sash to get away from this one. Oh, what's a Quicksilver Sash? It was... Oh, I don't even know. Oh, it was the Mikhail's Crucible coming out of the support. That would probably do it. And guys, that was just a huge fight. It looks like people are going to try to go B, but it doesn't look like they're going to push for the actual win here. But oh my goodness, the damage coming out. And Nami and Meteos are now trying to do this without Sneaky. Sneaky's now just coming in. Needs a couple really, really lucky crits. But there's the Zhonya's coming out of the Kassadin. Couple crits are going to do it, but it's not going to be enough. He kills the Kassadin, but now Nidalee is the only one alive after that. My God, I just don't see what these guys are doing. So it definitely shows that even at these higher tiers, like these are challenger level players, professional players, and they still make mistakes. Like, I do not believe that you should have interrupted the B of Nidalee or Kassadin when it was just Meteos and Lulu, and then it was just Nami and Meteos. Like, it just, and then Sneaky dribbles in after. Like, it just, you either fight all as one or you don't. It looked like Sneaky was running down to take the inhibitor turret right up here. Or to maybe get the inhibitor down itself, but was not looking to interrupt the back, so it just ended up being like a trickling in of one player by one player, and Kassadin's too strong to allow that to happen. He will take you down very, very quickly if you go in one by one. And now it looks like we have a game here, folks. Teleport coming in from the Kassadin to help with this Baron, but it looks like Meteos is here as well. The Baron is getting very, very low, very, very low. Oh my God, Meteos with the steal over the Nidalee, who has Smite. Meteos by himself gets the steal onto the Baron, and now the exhaust onto the Caitlyn. The Gnar is probably going to go down as well. Nami just trying to hold them off, slow them down with her E, is going to live as well. So Gnar and Caitlyn are the only ones alive. Sivir is coming into this one now, trying to do, oh, a great amount of damage, using that spell shield to not get chalked up here. And there we go. That is going to be a 4 for 2, but Meteos stole the Baron. Oh, you sexy Lissandra beast. So 55 to 49, 81k to 74k in favor of the red team. Second Baron of the game for the red team. 2 open inhibitors. Like, guys, man, I do not think this looks very good for the blue team. That was a very, very good Baron call. You got to give them credit for that. They did a lot of damage to that thing, but sadly, looks like the Nidalee just messed up her smite. And you can't do that with these top tier players. They know how to steal the Baron. They know how much damage is going to get thrown out. So it's just, that is a brutal scenario for a jungler to have to face. Was just nothing you can do. I'm actually wondering what I think might have happened there, which might have helped the cause. And now I don't know if this is the case, but Meteos might have used his ultimate on the Nidalee when it was getting really, really low. And if he did that, then the Nidalee can't smite. So maybe that's what happened. I probably should have like rewound it to see if that was the case. But that could have been the case, that Meteos used his ultimate on the Nidalee when the Baron was getting low. It doesn't guarantee a Baron steal, but it definitely helps out when you don't have to deal with the smite. So Lee Sin gonna take a lot of damage. A little bit of damage from the Kassadin, a little bit of damage from the Caitlyn, and he's at about a quarter HP now, so he's not going to be nearly as useful in the team fight. But right now you have a 29 and 17 Sivir on your team. But it looks like, once again, everybody's kind of getting picked down a little bit here. The Zhonya's coming out of the Kassadin, and this is a big, big mistake. And wow, the Meteos damage, locking up the Kassadin as well, making sure that he can't jump into the team. But the Caitlyn is down, Meteos is down as well. The red team is going very, very low, and they might actually be able to clean this up. No! Some crits coming out of Sivir is going to be enough to clean up the blue team. And this, guys, has to be GG. You've got some Baron minions coming down. They're going to be strong enough. You have Sivir alive, so Sneaky is going to do an insane amount of damage to this turret. So guys, this is probably going to be the end of the game here. And you also see Sivir bought 2 Phantom Dancers. We're going for a full-on crit build. Amazing stuff coming out of both Meteos and Sneaky. Definitely some mistakes coming down the line, but all in all, some phenomenal play coming out of these guys. And also for both teams, they played a great game. So guys, if you did enjoy this high elo commentary, let me know by showing that like button a little bit of love. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys want to see, and I will try to make videos of it. If you guys want to know when I release a video, when I stream, or if you want to interact with me, follow me at TwiggerLol on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like content like this and you want to see more. And ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, see you guys in the next video.